Welcome to MalcolmPresents.com with another show with Courtney on health. Brought to you, as I say, on Malcolm.com, a new internet station, actually a new streaming internet station heard around the world. With that, I will leave Max to, actually, I would think you're my, I forget if it's Johnny Olson or the guy who's been doing intro shows for about 110 years.
Yeah, I know. I Johnny Olson was one of them, but I don't know. I just keep thinking of the Dodger guy too, who retired, that he did the Dodger games for 1,000,000 years. Vin Scully. Yeah. I mean, these are the greats. No, I'm not going to be doing any baseball games anytime soon, or The Price is Right. Come on. Which is Come On Down? Is that Come On Down?
Come on down. Yeah.
Come on down. Okay. Come on down to Courtney on health, because we are so off the rails right now. All right.
Anyway, give us your intro, Johnny.
That's why people like it. See, we have to add that slight, offbeat side.
Well, if it wasn't offbeat, there are a lot of health shows. Of course, true. Not as good as Courtney.
Nope, Courtney is the best.
Oh, shucks.
Courtney is the best.
So we try to ad lib so we can earn our keep.
Okay. Well,
anyway, take it away.
Anyway, so welcome both of you to Courtney on Health. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Malcolm. And I know this is pretty late, 2 minutes already in the game. This is a Zoomcast series about how to get through these lingering COVID times with a little monkeypox added.
Monkey business.
A lot of monkey business, with tips on nutrition and exercise given by Courtney Gravenese, registered dietitian with a Master of Science degree in nutrition and applied physiology. Courtney is an experienced nutritional and health consultant in the New York metro area, and as Malcolm said, beyond, into the whole wide world and the universe, and will give you, and which will guide you on a path to wellness and health. We all need to be healthy and well, because there's just, again, too much stuff out there. So let's get into this. The theme is going to be traveling and what to eat when you travel. And the first thing that popped into my mind was
McDonald's.
On the Road Again by Willie Nelson. So let me just do a quick couple of stanzas of Willie's song, and then we'll go into a quick intro, and then it's all yours, Courtney, I promise. Okay. Anyway, the lyric is, because I like it, it's you can all sing. No, it's on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. I'll leave it brief, but you get the picture. We're going to be on the road. We're going to need to eat. So
that's right.
With summer almost here, and it felt like it yesterday here in the East Coast. It was craziness in the 90s. It's time to get into your cars, rev up the engine, and take to the road for a much needed vacation.
Yeah, but you got to trade in your IRA to get the gas money.
That's true, but you still need to get out. And I know people will do whatever they can to get out at this point, because our psyches,
they should. Yes.
Right. Our psyches need to go somewhere out of the norm where they are, just to get the brains going.
Getting back to health, probably the safest way of traveling now is in the car with your family.
Yes.
Without being exposed to anybody else.
What do you think?
Well, whatever. Back to food, guys. I gotta rein you guys in. We got 25 minutes.
Food.
Well, this is it. We used to take long trips. With my family, I'd go to Florida, short trip, the Catskills. We had plenty to eat. Mom would pack fruit, sandwiches, cookies, nuts.
Cut it. Let's get
cold drinks, and now we're completely off the rails. So, Courtney, give us a lowdown on healthier snacking while traveling. I'm out.
Hello, both of you.
I'm completely out on this one today. This is
That's okay. We're all in time. I think the heat got to you yesterday, Max, maybe, or everybody. So
not me. Yes. I didn't derail this. I was ready to roll with my intro, and Malcolm just threw in a hook. That was not me.
I
had a plan. See, this was my plan, but
there's your plan.
Plan didn't happen.
I
And
think
it was a good plan too. So go ahead.
no matter what way you want to travel, and the reality is people will still travel, right? They'll rebudget. I know gas prices are insane, but people are flying a lot more now, or taking trains or getting creative in their trips as they should. So this focus is going to be about, particularly if you are shelling out a whole lot of money on extra gas, how to, first of all, save money when you pack your own, snacks. And I know it's sort of a standing joke in my family because I am the snack packer. Like, don't buy in the airport. Everything's really expensive. I've brought my own snacks. But you do save money, and so that's no question. And depending on what you pack, you are in all likelihood going to get away with something that's a little bit healthier, which may or may not be important to you, but for many people, it is important to, feed yourself well while you're cruising along on whatever road trip or whatever vacation that you're going to have. So they can be healthier, and they're definitely going to save you some money. So I thought I'd break it down into the what, and with a little bit of a spin and coverage of, perishable versus, non-perishable. And most people know the things that shouldn't sit in a hot car or, on a 12-hour flight to Asia. But just a refresher, some people do and do not know some things. So for non-perishable, generally you want to look for those things, whether you pack it yourself or you're buying it packaged already for you. You want something that has, a little bit of fiber to it, a little bit of mix of protein and carbohydrate to it. Of course, some sweets and treats in there. You got to keep everybody happy. But the point of the protein mixed with the fiber and the carbohydrate is that you've got the greater sustain, it's going to stay with you a little bit longer, particularly if you've got a really long either flight or drive ahead of you. If you're not full and you're just grazing, it ends up being an 8-hour car ride of just throwing back, corn chips the whole time. So that's why you want a snack with a little bit of, again, protein, fiber, carbohydrate in the mix. So look for that. If you are going to bring perishable foods along, and those might include anything from sandwiches that you're going to pack to things like yogurt, your general window is about 2 to 5 hours without refrigeration. Now, I hear this from people say, that's a big difference, 2 hours, 5 hours. Some of this is going to require a little bit of common sense on your part. And of course, what the weather is doing outside. A beastly day like yesterday when it was sitting in 95 degrees, you really have closer to that 2 hour window of something unrefrigerated. A little bit cooler, you can go up to 5 hours. Are we talking a turkey sandwich here, which is highly perishable? Maybe stick to that 2 to 3 hour window. If you've got a single, let's say an individual yogurt, for example, you can probably go to about 4 to 5 hours. Obviously not sitting in the baking sun, but inside a car, just protected from a source of heat. So that's a general guideline for those perishable items. You obviously can get cooler packs and bring your own ice packs. For flight, your own car, you can bring anything you want, but you always have to be mindful, and most people know this, they've got to go through TSA. It has to have those requirements. Ice packs are permitted. They just have to be frozen solid when you go through security. If there is any slush or any liquid in the bottom of that ice pack, they are going to take it and discard it. So that's a general rule of thumb with regard to ice packs. So don't feel like you can't bring them. You absolutely can. They're just going to need to be frozen solid when you go through security. So keeping stuff a little bit chillier will buy you a little bit of time. So how to pack everything, it can be a real exercise depending on how many people you're packing for and how much bag space you've got. So if you're flying on a plane, for example, you've got a carry-on and you've got some personal items you want in there, there might not be that much room for food. With more and more airlines making food optional, you can certainly buy on board, and many people do, but there are delays. And from what I'm hearing from people who are traveling more now, delays seem to be more common than you would want. So you really want to make sure, particularly traveling with young kids, you got a lot of stuff with you. So smaller individual packages that can be stuffed into smaller pockets are going to make a lot more sense than traveling with a big bag of, let's just say a big bag of pretzels. So individual sizes that everybody can have for their own, and maybe they can even carry it in their own bags. I had a friend, and if she gives me permission to post this picture, she's got 3 kids. It was a trip that they took in the middle of the pandemic. They rented an RV, and it was so impressive what she had laid out. She took a picture of the sandwiches that she packed. So again, family of 5, all different, who's got an allergy, who has different taste preferences. They really wanted to avoid eating in as many restaurants as possible. This was early on in the pandemic. So she wanted to load up the refrigerator on the RV with as many sandwiches as possible. And she had on her kitchen counter for her family sandwiches lined across end to end, different things. It was impressive. It was like an assembly line. So it does require a little bit of forethought, but it can be done. And in a case like that, where you've got a larger family, it's going to certainly save you quite a few.
Is she available for consultation?
She should be. I sent her a text. I'm like, I gotta hand it to you. That's impressive. So, but she did it, and it worked for them. So,
I mean,
within some reason, there are certain things I'm going to call my no-no category. So, okay, so unless you are sitting in the car by yourself, or you own your own plane, okay, and you can call the shots. There are certain foods you don't bring in a closed cabin or closed car space. Do you guys know what those are?
Garlic, onions.
Yeah, I mean, onions would be bad. I mean, tuna fish, egg salad. Now, I know that the hard-boiled egg, and I love hard-boiled eggs. I know that the hard-boiled egg is ranked number one of those great snacks, portable snacks, it is, except when you're traveling with other people. You have to be a little respectful of people's noses and the confined space. I am always amazed. I took a train trip not too long ago, open sandwich, tuna fish, wafting through the, I just, just don't, I'm not saying don't eat it ever, just don't eat it then. So that's on sort of the no-no, don't do those things. Yeah, maybe a super garlicky salad, Malcolm, might not be the greatest thing to have either, but within reason, you want to have those, to keep those things in mind. So I have some faves of that I've used for my family, and then I have some new trending snacks, which I think are fabulous, because I think it really opens up the window of the stuff that's available for us as we're heading the road or going on vacation. Do you guys have some favorite snacks that you like to bring?
As I said earlier, McDonald's.
Oh, stop, Malcolm.
I remember as a kid eating, my mom would pack fruit, that was good. And if we went down south, she would literally badger my father to stop to get pecans and peaches down south in Georgia. If he didn't stop, there would be no living with my mom going down to Florida. It wouldn't happen. So my poor dad, he wanted to make time, but she was good at packing everything we needed, and no tuna, no eggs.
Yeah, actually, my favorite snacks would be fruits cut up like cut up apples or whole oranges that you could peel, and nuts.
Yeah, and those are 3 of my fresh fruit, nuts or nut mix. I'm going to throw cheese cube, the ones that are think cheese sticks, but there's also cheese squares. Think the Baby Bell, the cheeses that are wrapped in wax. Those have got a fairly long shelf life, so you don't have to worry. It's not like you're pulling out pieces of cheese from like a deli, sliced deli cheese. Those are 3 of my top for portability, for cost, and for flavor and their ability to fill you. And they do fit that fiber, protein, carbohydrate kind of combination. Obviously, if you've got nut allergies in the family, it might take most nuts out of the mix. But in general, the nut fruit combination is a winner. If your family likes that and that works. To save the least expensive option, just like your mom did, Maxine, you're going to take your own Ziploc bag or portable container. Now, a word about that. If you're in your car and things are coming back with you, that might be a little bit more usable. But if you're flying somewhere and then it's a completely different vacation, the containers are going to be cumbersome. And listen, luggage space is at a premium. So, do what works best for you. But I will say, for ease of use, the little Ziploc baggies work fantastic. They can be sealed. You throw them in there. They're light. So this is the least expensive way. You get to pick whatever nut mix that you want. You can throw in anything from craisins to dried apricots to dried mango, guava, craisins, whatever works for you. You got somebody who likes chocolate, throw some chocolate chips in there. It's the best mix you'll have, and it's going to be far less than you would spend if you went and purchased that on your own.
Courtney, what are these snacking pickles?
Oh, yes.
What is, I'm looking at that, I'm going, I've never seen that. My son would love that because he's a pickle.
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you how I'm excited about these? So this is a local guy, and you guys, I think it's because I reached out to him because I read about this in my nutrition magazines, and he's a local guy. I think he's in Brooklyn. And I said, I've heard about this, would you mind sending me a few samples? And he was fabulous. And it was Rick from Rick's Picks. And he sent me a bunch of samples. So the deal with these is, they're obviously there's an expiration date on it. So it doesn't last for 5 years. So you've got good several months. They are perfectly shelf stable until you open the package. Once you open the package, it has to be refrigerated. But it's great for, and they're tiny. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not like it's a huge amount. I mean, the whole package is like.
Did you open the pack? Any of them?
Yeah, they're literally different kinds of pickles. They're pickles and veggies. Yes. So here, you want to know which one's this one? This is the here is the garlic. All right. So we just talked about garlic. So we're gonna snacking pickles and snacking, because I think for me the pickles. Here we go. Sour pickles, so good.
I would never think to have pickles would be in a bag like that, and you can take them with you.
There it is, and they smell good. And here it is, and they're little tiny snacking. They're pickles. I mean, there's nothing cryptic about
They're just
it. It's
sliced up pickles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you order it online, huh?
So good.
Oh man,
this was the flat out sour pickle spears. So if you're a pickle fan,
oh yeah,
these are for you.
I just got a craving for a corned beef on rye.
Yeah.
But he has stuff like the snacks. So these are carrots. Which ones are these? Oh, these are the carrots. This is savory cauliflower florets. They're fabulous. I mean, I know it's a little, people are like, that's weird. I'm not bringing that. That's fine. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, you can't get into too many calorie issues. It's a fermented food. From my perspective, it's a win all the way around. So those are new, and let's stick with trending, and then we'll go back to more traditional. You guys see these?
You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
So they're pitted olives. These are the chili rosemary Ollie's olives. Once again, once the bag is opened, you got to refrigerate it. But like this, you throw them in your bag. You have some cheese, you have some crackers, you bust open a bag of olives. I don't know, if you're flying on a plane, you have a little glass of wine there. I mean, you could do far worse in terms of, what you eat. So these are two of the trending snacks that I've been able to find out about. Not trending, but I just love their combinations. This brand called Orchard Valley Harvest. Again, least expensive, make your own trail mix. But if you have a whole brood at home and everybody has their favorite combination of trail mix, these little individual packets are fantastic because they have like a half a dozen different combos. This is the omega-3 mix, but they have one with carob chips in it. If you're having an allergy to milk, meaning the milk chocolate, they have regular chocolate carob chips in it. They have one with dark chocolate. They have one without chocolate at all. That's just different nuts and different dried fruits. And it's not like it's found in a crate. These were in Stop and Shop, so they're easily found. They weren't silly money. So I think that, for most people, it'll fit, within their budget. Again, pack your own will be a little less expensive, but for ease, these are great. You keep them in your cupboard, you throw them in a backpack on the way out the door. they were great. So those were the Orchard Valley options. This other brand, I actually found out about these from my niece, Devash. They are, so it's basically, they're either date or not prune, they're either date-based or fig-based, sorry, bars. And there's some kind of nut in there. So it might be pistachio, it might be walnuts, and there might be hazelnuts or pecans. And again, shelf stable. They have a little bit of, they have a lot of fiber in it. There's a decent amount of protein in it. So they are good for my taste buds because I mean, I love dates. The dates are super, super sweet. For my taste buds, they came in a little sweet for me. But they were still, you know, they're still a great option if you like that, and they're certainly convenient enough.
If you're going on vacation in Palm Springs, they have date farms everywhere, and you can get fresh dates. They literally pick
those
them.
are amazing.
Those are amazing. So yeah, I can use a trip. How about it, folks?
Oh no! Some of my favorite bars, the Z-Bar protein bar. It's got a little, it's pea protein in there, so it's not just mostly carbohydrate. So again, it gives you that sustained energy, which is great. I love, just for the simplicity, Nature Valley. It doesn't have a ton of protein in it, but it's minimal ingredients, short, sweet, done, great thing to keep, and incredibly shelf stable. For, you know, if you're on the weekend, if you're traveling, or even on a plane and you've got a somewhat, you know, you have, let's say there's allergy restrictions or particularly a finicky eater, the oatmeals that just, I mean, it's the bowl here and all you have to do is add hot water. I mean, you can find hot water pretty much everywhere. So even in rest stops, you know, traveler stops along highways, you can get a cup of hot water. You put it in here, you have a spoon, and you've got oatmeal on the, you know, on the run. Again, these are for longer trips where you really, you know, these are going to be healthier. This oatmeal in a travel stop would probably be, you know, $6 at least. So it saves you money and you can control it.
Courtney, hold on. What about kids, younger kids, you know, toddlers, and you have to make sure they don't choke. You have to keep an eye on them. What's a good, you know, good snacks that you don't have to worry that the kid might choke it down? So any recommendations on that?
Yeah. So yogurt tubers and tubers versus the cup, because they can manipulate it themselves, obviously. So you rip it open and then, so those are excellent for them. Any of the, let's say, corn-based puffs are a great option because they will melt away. And they even have, and these have been out for a while, for people with peanut allergies. They're actually, you guys may or may not be aware of this, they're actually recommending that they do start little kids under 3 on peanuts earlier. I know this is exactly opposite of what was told to us decades ago, but the problem with that is usually texture, right? You're not going to hand a 2-year-old a handful of peanuts and say, have at it. So these puffs melt away. They contain peanut protein in them, so they're a great option. But even aside from the peanut ones, any of those melt away ones are going to be a great option for kids. They can manipulate, they can feed themselves, and there's less of an issue with them being a choking hazard. Clearly, no popcorn,
How about beverages?
Candies. What was that?
How about beverages aside from water, of course?
Well, I mean, I think that you can, you could pack whatever it is your best case scenario, whatever it is your preferences are. I mean, you kids might like, you know, they might like Capri Suns, and that might be their favorite. I mean, you guys know my stance on too much, you know, sugar. Less than you want is an 8-hour car ride with, you know, a bunch of kids in the car, you know, getting jacked up on Capri Suns all afternoon. So that doesn't sound like fun to me. But you know, one of them is certainly fine for the road. Water is best. If you are packing for yourself, I mean, you can put in a splash of cranberry juice, orange juice, any of the citrus beverages in there in the water, and make your own beverage. You can do any of the teas. We've spoken about teas before. So whether it be herb tea or black or green tea, make your own, you know, tea drink and put it in a reusable container. It doesn't last you for hours and hours, but at least you've got one on the road to go with you. Clearly, this is the best way to refill your own. You can always have water bottles as an option along the way, but you guys know, I'm sure, these water bottles, can be very pricey no matter where you stop, particularly airports where they're really going to stick it to you. So bring your water bottle in empty, obviously, because it's not going to get through to, security, and then fill it at the airport. A lot more airports now are having these, not nasty water fountains, but the water refilling stations where your bottle doesn't touch a spout. So it makes it a very economical way to keep yourself hydrated. But I know folks who bring their own tea bags for long roads, and then they just, get hot water because they like a certain brand of tea. They're not necessarily being cheap. They just like what they like. And that makes it much easier for them. So that way you stay hydrated. So important, particularly when you're on a plane, to really, really drink more than you think that you should, because that air is very dehydrating. So you want to drink or find a way to drink anything non-alcoholic and preferably non-caffeinated as possible.
I like, what I like also, it's sweet, but on trips is Pocky. Pocky, those Pocky
The
sticks.
sticks?
Right,
The sticks?
the sticks, right. They come in different flavors, and so on trips I try to get like a few boxes of Pocky, just depending how long the trip.
Now, how about if you're driving and the driver gets a little tired? Is coffee recommended to keep them up, the caffeine, or is that a misnomer?
Well, no, I think, there's two things that come to mind. Certainly, coffee, we know what caffeine does, and it will certainly keep you awake. I think for safety, if you're the only person who is able to drive in the car, and you cannot take a break, then coffee, certainly would help a little bit. But that's why there's rest stops. That's why you need to plan carefully. And again, I know we're talking about food and beverages, but plan your trip out carefully. Travel during the best time when you're most alert. And take breaks appropriately. First of all, it's good for the drivers to take breaks. That's caffeine if you must, because it'll give you a good, it might be able to keep you going. But then, making sure that you stretch your legs. And this is whether you're on a long car trip. In fact, we went to Boston for a graduation this past weekend, and I traveled with my dad. And I was and even though it was only a few hours away, I was very mindful of, him sitting for long periods of time and then sitting at the graduation. So move those legs, take often breaks. First of all, whether you're traveling on your own or you're traveling with littles, if you're able to get some breaks in there for little kids to get their yayas out, it makes for happy kiddos, and it makes then, because the kiddies are happy, it makes for happy parents. So stretch those legs, stretch out those kiddos, and if you need to, get a little jolt of coffee in there, caffeine to kind of keep things going. But breaks are important, and then travel your best time, what works for you.
Also, it's not food, but music is helpful. Something the kids like, something you like, and any games that they have to keep them occupied. And even music, you can have them move a little in the back. We used to kind of dancey in the car, just from the waist up, and goof around. So that's exercise in a way, so it fits in. But
karaoke.
I think karaoke. No, I don't.
No, I mean the whole family singing together.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it is fun. We do. We used to a lot.
Yeah. So, people have their own rules about what they're, and I think the snack part is key to keep yourself from getting too hungry. I think some people welcome the break of stopping someplace to get lunch or dinner. I can totally understand that. These are just options, for you to help you save a little bit of money. I do have one tip about how you pack your sandwiches. Like I said, my family kind of makes fun of me a little bit about being that mom who has everything packed up. And we were coming back from North Carolina one year for a vacation, and I packed sandwiches from the night before, and I got my cooler ready, and I didn't have ice packs, but I filled up a Ziploc, or it was a plastic bag that I knotted with a bunch of ice, put that in the bottom, and I loaded the sandwiches in, and then several hours later, we went in to go eat lunch on the road because we really just wanted to zip home. And I made a rookie error, and I did not put the sandwiches in another container or another bag, and they ended up floating in the bottom of the cooler. The bread, I felt so terrible. We were starving, and they were like, they were not even close to salvageable. They were just-
No,
Okay.
floating sandwiches,
Courtney, it's good to know that you're human. And
right.
you do make mistakes, because where you're going, you seem to be the perfect woman, perfect wife. Perfect,
Yeah, so
you do
not
make
that. I'm
mistakes.
so not that, Malcolm.
And under that note, we have reached the end of our half hour, and I'm
There
sorry
it
if
is.
if I took 5 minutes away at the top of the show.
You did. It's your fault.
It's mea culpa, mea culpa.
You're getting a nasty email later. Just look for it.
Call the boss
I'm calling the boss.
and tell
The
him I
boss,
shouldn't do it.
the boss
Anyway,
with the hot sauce, but hot sauce wouldn't really be a good idea, right, Courtney? On a trip.
anyway, exit our show.
Okay,
Wrap it.
thanks for joining us for Courtney
Johnny.
on Health. To get more info, follow Courtney on her Facebook page, which is Courtney on Health, on Instagram at CLG Wellness, and visit her website, CourtneyGravenese.com. For more shows, go to MalcolmPresents.com and theManyShadesOfGreen.com. It's Courtney on Health, smart, sound nutrition, strong, safe fitness, and we will catch you next time. And those pickles look great.
I do definitely try. Have a great Memorial Day, and be
Yeah,
safe
have a
if
nice
you're
holiday.
traveling.
If you're traveling,
Rick's picks.
pack up all the good stuff that Courtney just talked about.
Bye, guys.
Have a good
Bye.
holiday. Bye.